lucky to have her here, and that's one of the things that we want to definitely bring to you, as living here in this beautiful location that we call Nett Lake or asabikone, zaagi'igining, right here on in northern Minnesota. Hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend. What a weekend it was! Bright, sunny, and full of food, fun, and family. We hope that you were able to get out and enjoy the weather and enjoy the I don't know, enjoy family. Yeah, that was kind of the biggest thing that I came away with over the weekend. And in the meantime, I'm going to get Aunty Karen going here, and we usually start off with our introductions, and I want to do mine. These are I seen another one of our teachers out there, our language teacher, cultural teacher. I know he came over here and he's done some funerals for families. Um, Adrian Liberty, and he's always stressing, or he's trying to stress, to use different varieties of introduction. And there's multiple ways of saying things. Auntie's always said that. She's always said there's more ways to say something. Um, the important thing that she said is to use it. Don't be shy. Try to use as much of your language, and then people will help you along. So, in that vein, I'm going to say Muscobanese indigenous cause, and Redbird is my name. It's what the spirits call me, and how they recognize me. And Unanami zaagi'igining in Dune Jaba. I am from the Lake Vermilion area. That's where I come from. And Migizi Nindun Dame. That is my clan. That's the Eagle clan. There's two types.
Yeah,
Gnu,
Gnu.
Gnu, and that's more of the golden type of eagle. And I come from the like the ball headed, as they say nowadays. There's probably a different story to that. I'd be interested to know that if anybody out there knows that. Share it with us on our KBFT page, or get a hold of Auntie Karen on her page. And I just want to say that, by no means am I an expert, and Auntie Karen is the expert here. She's grown up with the language, and practiced it, used it in her house, taught her grandkids, and done as much as she can, or still doing as much as she can to preserve and revitalize our language. And with that, Nizigo, skinny tongue.
Okay. Menogajeb Kinako. Good morning, everybody. Nukamis indigenous cause. Sabikone zaagi'igining in Dune Jaba. Ayan Menogijagat. Have a nice day. Uh, Sometimes somebody will give me uh, something to talk about. Like this morning, Bijaba away. Notice this morning, my Notice gave me something to talk about today. He asked me a question about giants about a long time ago, and I told him, yeah. I said, hey, yeah. I said, I heard a lot of stories about giants when I was growing up, which I heard my grandma and my mom all talking about. And I had this picture. I had this picture here. This thing that my grandpa and them. My grandpa and them. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
I had this thing that they had standing in our backyard was about 7, maybe even 8 feet tall,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like a giant. And way back then, they must have been, referring to the giants that were living around the reservation areas, or even all over, a long time ago. But I was telling my grandson this morning that I said I even had a dream. It was about a lady. She was really tall, ginuzi. That means tall. And I was way short there. I was looking up at her, and I had to look really far to see her face. And when I did see her face, it was all wrinkled, and she had kind of like a cape, like over her over her head, like like a long black scarf and black hair. I could see her hair, and I was just looking way up at her, and I could see she was wearing like a skirt that was way down to her ankles, because I was looking at her feet. She had moccasins on, and as I was going up, I was looking, and she had like a sweater, and that's the last place I looked was her face. And then I just woke up. That was all I dreamt. And so that's a spiritual dream. Once you go through once you go through the Medewi Lodge, you can they give you a lot of things that you can do, give names and stuff, see things through dreams, and just all do ceremonies and all that stuff. Once you go through that, and that's why I say I wish our young people would talk to Vern and go through that midday lodge. It wouldn't have to be a good reason. It would just, well, the reason is good enough to say that we're losing our language, and we're losing everything else, and we got to get it back somehow through dreams. And a lot of people around here must have spiritual dreams, but they they don't know what they are. Maybe, you know. I know this one girl came to me. She said she had a dream of somebody coming after her relative. Sure enough, that happened. See, she must be that kind of person that could dream ahead, or dream. She dreamt that night, and it happened a couple days later. And there's a lot of people that have dreams. I know my daughter too has dreams that are telling her, and I told her to recognize the spiritual one she has. And about giants, uh, my uncle Albert told us a story one time, and my mother told us the same story. It was Biboon, winter, and he went somewhere way across, way down by Girls Landing. There was Bill Johnson's house there, and he went over to get something for my grandpa late at night. It was about midnight. He said, when he was walking in this, how your feet crunch in the snow and how cold it is out there. He said he walked down there. Then on the way back, it must have had something to do with maybe it was medicine or whatever that he was getting for my grandpa from Bill Johnson. And he said the minute he got out of the door, he started walking, and he said he looked behind him, And there was this kind of big man, big tall, ginusi, nini, tall man. And he took big steps to try to keep away. Pretty soon he said he started running. Ugi bimbatu. And he said that whatever that big man was beside him started running right behind him, almost catching him. And he got down home there, down Strongville, and he made it in a door, and my grandpa was there sitting, and he told my grandpa what happened, and my grandpa did something, and they found out that was a giant man that was trying to take that whatever he had got from Bill Johnson. But that was one story that he told me about, and then that one I had about that big Ginusi Kwe tall lady. And I bet there's people out there that have dreams that they can't recognize. They don't know it's a spiritual dream, but you know, even men have. And my one grandson tells me his dreams, and he said he dreams of black tornadoes or storms or all that. But yeah, a long time ago there was all kinds of like different, like that man I showed you that we had in our yard. That was he was watching over Strongville. Then he had a little kid down below by him. They made my grandpa and Albert and Herbert, Louie, Billy, J.S. They all had a hand in making that big man that he had in back of the woods, in back of the woods. And I was trying to think of another story that they were told about giants. Misabe is is a giant. Misabe. There's a place, I don't know. I was telling my nurses this morning. There's a place where there's a picture like they have like a sleeping giant or something. Um, and, but I don't know. I seen a picture of it long time ago, and I was I was just thinking about my cousin. Her her Indian name is Begame Gabawake, and uh, and then my father-in-law's name was Beg Begame. Let's see, Begamiki Bitang. See, that's a man's name, Begum, and that's kind of like meaning something like a giant. They're named after like a giant, and my cousin was named after like a giant lady or a Begum McGobbleweek. And then another thing, if I think another story about what they were telling me about giants, then it's I don't know what tomorrow we're having. Our Perry and Jay are having that thing at 2 o'clock tomorrow, and I said, well, I'll go down there and I'll see how many people attend, how many are really interested in our culture, language around here. And if there's enough there, I'll keep on, but I think if, no one's interested, and then what's the use of, you know, what's the use of going on? And the way I've been feeling, I don't know. I had to have it's getting harder and harder for me to get around. And so I don't know how long I'll be able to do this. I like doing it, but it's just my legs that are keeping me from. I need. I don't know. Probably I'll have to be in a wheelchair. Anyway, I was reading through some old papers yesterday, and there was a bunch of names in there, like town names and stuff, or game names. Zaagi'igining, that's Pelican Lake. Zaagi'igining, Zaagi'igining, Zaagi'igining. That's or Pelican Lake. And I was reading these games that she left. Lacrosse only men play. She wrote down, and S hockey is a ladies' game, and Bagese dish game is both ladies and men play together. They can play together, and then Bagese is a dish game, but Bagese, yeah, that's a dish game, and then Ga Ga Odu Ga Gadu Bagadu Bagao to be. I think that's hockey, but bus bus busiqua busiqua. Let's see, bus Sikawa Basikawa is that hockey in in Basik no Sikawa, that's when you run over somebody, isn't it, George? Basikawa, like run over somebody.
Huh, that's probably a James Vukovic question. I can't find it here on the dictionary either. Like hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know they used to say a long time ago, Gigo Gapsikawa away, you're gonna run over him. They'd say, or Kita Gapsikawa away. So that's a part of that hockey, Gapsikawa or something.
Okay.
And you can use that word like the mama ogi ogi. So what did I just say? Gapsikawa. Wawashke she to become. She ran over a deer yesterday. Gapsikawa away. You're gonna run over him. Gapsikawa. Gapsikawa away. And that's part of how they used to say when them ladies played hockey. Gapsikawa. I think that was the name of the game. Gapsikawa.
There's a lot of variation for running. I bet you back then everybody ran.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gijibade,
Yeah.
run fast.
Yeah. You could say that. Or like run. Um, like we used to say bimba too. We'd say like I used to tease one of my good friends. How would I say that? How about we run away? Majiba iwe. That's running away from something. Majiba iwe. Majiba iwe. That's running away. And go running away or going away mad is Maji Gudaz.
Maji Kudaz.
Yeah, that's when you go away from somewhere mad.
Mad. Mindaway.
I don't like that old word Mindaway.
No? Why is that?
Because there was a letter written, bad letter written by me and from me and to me and Lester.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and everything was Mindaway in there.
Mm.
Just saying awful stuff about us on a letter.
Hmm.
And I never liked that word.
Wow. Huh.
Made me dislike
I hear it every once in a while. You know, if somebody says that they're mad or upset or something, whatever.
Well, Maji Kudas, they went away mad.
Oh, okay.
No, Maji Kudas.
What they go away scared or ran away when they were scared.
Maji Bowiwe Zegisi.
Hmm.
Zegisi is scared.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of ways you can use running away. Oh, Squeak was telling me one time, this is a little story about running. He said him and Reg, Reg was in crutches all his life, ever since he was a little boy. He said, something scared him really bad. And Reg got so scared that he took off running without his crutches.
Oh.
I can remember that story. He was telling us what they seen something, and I don't know who all was there. There was Squeak.
What age was that when he got that?
He was like 4 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that. I thought it was like about 10 years old or something like that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I never remembered him walking even as a baby.
Mm.
He was always being carried.
Yeah. We're talking about Reggie or one of my uncles, my one of your cousins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Brothers.
Herbert's son, Herbert and Emma.
Yeah. And he had polio. Yeah. Since age 4. I thought he had it around age 8 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's well, he was a funny guy. I always liked being around him.
Yeah.
He was a real awesome marble player. That's what I remember about him. I mean, he could what do they call him? Snip. When you send your marble line, and he could probably send it almost, I'd say 50 feet. It was a long ways he could do that. And, it wasn't no fun playing him when, what they call that? I can't remember the name of the games. Well, one of them was rings. I know that. Maybe that'll jar my memory. But yeah, we used to, all my uncles, they were really good marble players. And I always remember playing with them guys. And Reg was just by far like amazing.
That's the only one I can't remember his Indian name.
Mm.
Like Jake. His Indian name was Guivasas. Gupsikagu. Yeah, that's how you say it when you're going to run over. When you're going to run over somebody. Gupsikagu.
Gupsikagu.
And that's a part of the name of that S hockey for ladies.
Okay.
I suppose when they run, they might bump into each other.
Yeah.
and hammer. But you know, when I write them down, I can't really some about my own writing. But G Pakete G gun.
Kite G Igon.
Yeah, that's a hammer. See, you can see Pakete. That's when you hit something.
Kite.
Yeah, like you say Kapkete or away. Away, where is that? So give guitar, cup guitar, give cup guitar away.
See, that's where your enunciation and pronunciation, I guess, would come in. Because I would think of, I want to mess you up here. I know you're trying to. Okay, the one that makes me think of that is Pataki gun,
Yeah,
you know.
like but ducky is that little has prongs on there, and they pick it up with the fork, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but ducky gun, and then when you're gonna like the doctor's gonna give you a shot with a needle, they say, see, I forgot already. They say, you know, how do you say fork again?
Pataki gun.
Yeah, but ducky igu.
Oh,
That's when they're going to give you a shot of like penicillin.
uh,
Badaki igu. Mishkiki nini o nigi ogi badaki igu. Benuji ass. That doctor gave that little baby a pig or whatever. Badaki
a
igu.
needle.
Yeah, badaki igu. Then I think a needle is almost the same way, but I can't. Somebody called and asked me for all the names of the sewing. I think it was Elaine when she worked in Chisholm. Like everything, like ribbon, thread, needle, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave her all the names of all the sewing, scissors, you know. And,
Jabani gun.
June,
Jabani gun.
no,
Oh, Nubadu. Nubadui gun? Nah.
Jumini, no. Geez, see, I'm having time.
The way it says here, like a,
Jubini gun.
okay, Jubani gun.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a needle. Jubini gun. See, there's gun and like Badaki gun.
Mm-hmm.
Jubi gun.
This must be from a different region and Nabadui gun.
Yeah, they probably say that too.
Or beading needle.
Yeah, or
That's funny. You don't hear money do ace in there, or how money do. What do you say the bead? Money do ace or something like
yeah,
that.
ANCE.
Yeah, money do ace
Yeah,
is a bead.
like Benujians, ANCE.
Mm-hmm.
Kick-ass.
So when they
So
say
like,
beading needle, at least in this region anyway, it Nabadui gun.
yeah, I think that's the way Dorothy used to say that.
Okay.
Elaine's mom.
Uh-huh. Nabadui gun. Yeah, that's a beading needle. And just a regular needle, they say here is Ja Bonigan, Ja Bonigan, or Jabano.
Is that a beading needle or
No, it's just a regular needle. It says just a needle. Here, let me see if we can listen to it.
gun?
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. I don't know who says this one. Yeah, they have somebody from like Red Lake. Turn it up. Maybe this is too loud. Sorry if it's too loud there, everybody.
Shabanigan.
Jabinigan. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
zaagi'igining.
That one's just a needle.
And then when you want to say so, you say shkigwa so.
Shigigwa, so.
Yeah, that's sewing.
Which is kind of reason why they come up, I think, is because we're getting ready for the powwow, right? This
Yeah,
weekend. Nimi uh, what is it? No, I can't think of it. Zagi Baga. Zagi Baga. This.
Nimi
Yeah, Zagi Baga Nimi Iding. Um,
Jesus.
yeah, that's another way of saying it. Huh?
June.
June. Ode Mini Jesus.
Minan.
Oh, Ode Minan
Jesus.
Jesus. Strawberry Moon. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are we going to go out and pick strawberries this year?
I wonder if they should be out now.
I know you took us down that Farmer John Road.
Yeah.
Showed us some plants that were back there. I bet you they're ready.
Yeah, they probably are. They were probably ready right away.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a couple of weeks after it
Warms up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to go look either that or we can ask probably Bill Isham. He's out there quite a bit. Looking for a sabe. That's what he likes to do.
Yeah, I wish he would come to our language tomorrow at 2:00.
Yeah.
Ones that are interested should come,
Yeah.
to show people that they're interested in saving our language.
Oh yeah. To even just to show support,
If they don't want to say nothing, they can just live Bizindayuk
What time was that again?
to Nijdabaigane.
Nijdabaigane. So show up tomorrow, community members, everybody, come on down. Makwa, right there at the tribal government building, and they're going to be talking about language and revitalization, and there's a lot of new technology that's out there. So I'd like to see some discussion on that because I know there's of course, like artificial intelligence, right? AI. Everybody's talking about AI. So I think it would be something to bring to the discussion and how we could incorporate some technology into helping us, whatever it is, revitalize, archive in some way, just to have it available. Because like you said, it's a living language, right? So it's like ever evolving, ever, I wouldn't say changing, but and it's hyper local. So it's like from one region to another, one reservation to another. I wouldn't even say one band to another, and one family to one another. There's ways that they say words, and there's probably a reason why they say it a certain way. They're kind of inflecting some personalization, probably. In the way that they say certain words. I know even in English we say stuff like that. We change it up, and as Indian people, we always try to make it funny. Or add some kind of humor to it. So, I know what I heard. I heard the other day somebody was saying, I think I heard Buenos dias. Somebody was going to say Buenos dias. Like Mexican, they say good morning.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're laughing about it. Of course, they're Ojibwe, right? They said, I thought I heard Buenos dias, they said.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we like to make things funny like that, So I'm sure that kind of gets into the language, especially if it's, family related. I know there's a lot of humor that we had as a family. My dad had a real sense of humor. He always gave everybody nicknames in our family. Like Rogine was. I think that was him that started calling her Boo Boo. Remember they used to call her Boo Boo? Yeah. And and then of course everybody around here has got a name. Like Bear Hide, right? And I don't know. There's tons of them. So that's just one of the things that we do. And not everything is, of course it has a meaning associated to it, but yeah. So we try to make the best of it.
Yeah, I was thinking of all them old names like Plum.
Mm-hmm.
They called him Plum, and there was somebody they called Blacker Than Me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Lester used to call Edna uglier than me. They call each other that. Hello, uglier than me.
That's a good one. I like that one. Might have to use that one. No, bring it back.
Yeah, they're blacker than me.
Yeah.
They're just so much.
So yeah, I encourage you to use the language. It's something that is not a perfect thing. It's not. You look at other languages, even English. It's got so many exceptions to the rule. I before E, and except after C. There's as much as you try. Nothing's ever gonna fit, and especially nowadays. With all the slang and the lingo. I guess it's like kind of like that. Where something takes on a different meaning or has a additional meaning to it. So don't be afraid to use the language. It's just like you're talking with everybody. Just like you're using English, like I'm doing now, and I am working my way towards that. And one of the reasons I use English on the show is just to kind of help interpret that. Auntie, she grew up with the language, and so it's just kind of like second nature. Of course, it wasn't something that all of our elders practiced, through the years and used. You know, uh, Everybody needs to understand, and that's kind of where my background comes in, is just some of the historical stuff because of my schooling. Graduating from UMD with a American Indian Studies uh, bachelor's. They teach you a lot of these things. Why these conditions exist, especially in the way I interpret it, people that are about 78, 80, 83, especially the ones that have passed on, are just a little bit older now, that we've lost in recent years. It wasn't fun being a Native American, growing up when they were young. It was really hard. A lot of peer pressure, a lot of racism, just everything, dead set against them, law enforcement and just laws. And, you couldn't be or practice what you were brought up with and what your grandpas and grandmas and mothers and fathers were taught, and how it got them through, everyday life. There wasn't really a university of Anishinaabe. There should be nowadays, but back then, life was life. You learned the things that kind of got you through the seasons, and that was our calendar. There was the outdoors. When the plants were ready, just like we're talking about strawberries here. That's when we knew when was when, and right now we would be kind of going out there, maybe surveying the rivers, maybe surveying the lake, and looking at what it's going to take to create a good harvest of raw rice. So like Auntie said, they used to go up the rivers and they would clear all the whatever was impeding the water flow. If that you know they had a wild rice committee or a wild rice boss, and I, like you said, Auntie, they would just get up outside down in the rock and call to everybody and say, hey, we're going to meet about this,
Yeah,
and
we're going to talk about cleaning up the rivers.
mm-hmm.
And everybody would pitch in and bring horses, and the ladies would clean the shores. They'd be raking the weeds and stuff.
Oh yeah.
The kids would even be down there helping.
Mm-hmm.
They'd like to Moddigazi.
Moddigazi.
That means walking in the water.
Mm-hmm.
See, I remember hearing my grandma say that.
Mm.
Wait, zaagi'igining. That little girl is walking in the water or playing in the water.
Yeah.
But yeah, there used to be, it, maybe that was why there was so much rice because of that, because of them cleaning out the log jams and how now there's so much lily pads out there, all kinds of
Yep.
other junk in there, people throwing beer cans in the water and all that, their lunch bags and they just throw them right in the water when they're ricing, um, when they're no manomanikeok. That means going manomanike, making rice.
Mm-hmm.
But they're
Well, I
like,
think what you're kind of the underlying thing of all that is just caring,
yeah,
and
caring
then
about.
showing that you appreciate that. You go out
Mhm.
there and you show your respect. You put your tobacco down, acknowledge the spirit of the lake, and just showing it some love, you know, by keeping the waters flowing and the weeds at bay. Uh, that, and then as a community, the spirits see that,
Yeah, they're they're
that we care.
yeah. And just like that, the spirits are watching who's who's putting tobacco in the water, who's praying for, who's
Mm-hmm.
trying who's trying to do good with their language or culture. Just plain, they're watching. They, like I said, when they, when you clean fish, uh, don't go throwing it by the lake shore. Put it in a bag and take it out where you see bears
Or use
or
it in your garden.
yeah. If,
Make a compost pile.
don't put it by the water, by the lake. That's just disrespecting the lake, zaagi'igining. Or another way you could say lake is gaming, gaming.
I like to put it on rocks, the big rocks,
Mm-hmm.
and then them eagles come by and they pick
Yeah,
them up.
yeah. And then another thing is the island. Somebody was telling me that island is just white with them birds.
Oh, them bird droppings.
Yeah, them seagulls, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They can't even see them drawings on the
Oh, really?
rocks because of them birds.
Huh.
I don't know how. I don't know if they'll ever get rid of them droppings on the
Yeah, I
rock.
know. There's a little rock island over on Lost Lake, over by Onanamizagaigan over there, and it yeah, that's all it is. It's all sea it's all seagull droppings that are on top of that, and it's not a big it's
Mm-hmm.
probably about half the size of Spirit Island,
Mm-hmm.
but noticeable enough that you just see all that them seagulls sitting on there doing their thing, and yeah, it's all white. So
Yeah.
like you're saying, I mean, they're probably, and it's crazy. What made it that way is maybe, well, I don't know if people really care, but I know they had to ban people off of there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you couldn't hunt and stuff.
Yeah, because they were throwing beer cans all
Yeah,
over
yeah.
and just a big garbage.
But I'm sure if people respected it,
Mm-hmm.
there it would be like it always was.
Yeah. And if somebody did clean that off, I don't know how it would be.
Hmm.
It'd probably get the same way again. But as I can remember, a long time ago, it was never like that.
Hmm.
But now a lot of seagulls are coming in,
Yeah,
and there never used to be.
there's many seagulls
Yeah,
around here. Yeah,
like that. Now it's just, well,
changes. Well, I don't
yeah,
know. They might say it's climate change too. Like
yeah, maybe.
they follow different, like food in their area is not as
Mm-hmm.
good as it might be, so they probably move to different areas like here nowadays. So it is a real thing. I mean, like down south, right where my mother or my grandpa's homestead is located. It used to be a lot greener,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it went through a period of maybe, I think, in the last 25, 30 years of getting more and more like desert like, you know, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't so, it's not as green as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's what they said. There's a lot of changes in wildlife. I know back in our day when we'd herd sheep and go up towards the north, there's a mesa that's up that way. It's probably about, I don't know, a mile and a half, almost 2 miles away, and we would go in that direction, and there would be across that flat plain before you get to the foothills. There'd be all kinds of prairie dogs that were out there, you know, and there hasn't been a prairie dog out there in maybe 20 years now, you know, because of the dryness, I think.
I know that's the way some, like I think it was last year where there was so many army worms. They're just
Mm-hmm.
sitting, putting cars in ditches, sliding from
Yep.
army worms. Then one year there wasn't any at all. Then the next year there was turtles.
Mm.
Oh, there was so much turtles, being run over on the road.
Yeah. Yep.
Now this year there's zaagi'igining.
Worms? No.
Mosquitoes.
Oh, mosquitoes.
Zaagi'igining. There's a lot out.
Uh-huh.
You can't even sit out in the evening.
Yeah. Yeah.
All those zaagi'igining.
That's what we had the house open yesterday, doors and windows and stuff, and by the time we figured it out, all the mosquitoes
Yeah.
were inside, and we kept hearing them going by my ear.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose because it's damp.
Could be, yeah. Yep.
The damp weather.
Well, we had extra snow this year, so
Mm-hmm.
chi zugapon, or
Yeah, she's a twin.
lots of snow.
Yeah, and then there was one year there was a lot of them. What do you call them? Big beetles that fly with them big things.
Hmm.
I forget what kind of beetles.
Some pine beetles?
Pine beetles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there was a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So some years there's some. Like last year, I only had one nanukasi,
Mm.
one hummingbird,
Really?
basic. Now this year I have niche,
Oh,
only
okay.
two.
Yeah.
In 1 year, when Lester was alive, we had to go get another
Mm-hmm.
hummingbird feeder. We had to put up two, because there was like 12 to 14 hummingbirds on our feeder.
Yeah. Where would you guys get your feeder?
Right at Walmart.
Oh, okay. I looked at Walmart last night or 2 nights ago, and I couldn't find one over there.
Oh yeah.
I was kind of in a rush, though. I went back to the garden area, but I didn't see.
Yeah.
I saw the other ones, like the big
Mm-hmm.
seed ones,
Yeah.
but I didn't see that hummingbird.
I had that's my third time filling it up already. I put 3 cups in there each time I fill it up.
Mm.
And that's my third time, but
Mm-hmm.
there's only 2. Me had to go niche nanu kasio gi minikwayog
Mm-hmm.
drinking. There's only 2 nanu kasi minikwayog you're
Mm-hmm.
drinking.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go look around again tonight. My mom said try Cook Hardware over there.
You know where they have them too is at the dollar store. That's where I get my hummingbird
Your
nectar.
nectar, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I'll look there too.
Mm.
I know I got to go back. I can't remember what else. There's something I missed out on remembering what I need. I'm always like that. I forget things.
Should we go on a little break?
Yeah, we can do a break here, and we're going to come back. You're listening to the Karen Drift Anishinaabemoin
Gigido.
yep, radio show. Geekadoo Makuk. I can't remember how did we say show now. I remember I said it one time.
Show is wasn't not they say?
I think so. Yeah.
No, that's like a TV. Mazinate se chicken.
Let's see here. I'll look it up quick. But yeah, we're going to take a break here. You guys are welcome to hang out. I usually update you on the weather and give you some community events. I'll talk about the powwow happening this weekend. So, and then we got another celebration coming up on the other side of the red.
Apikusi.
Wow.
I was reading about the Nett Lake Powell, and I think I seen uh, Gmon races, boat races.
Yeah.
Gmon.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever you do, whoever's going to be in that boat race, put Sama down before you go on your boat race to keep you safe.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to be going around Spirit Island, I think, like
Yeah.
they usually do. But always remember before you go close to the island or even in the water, put Sama down.
That's kind of what I wanted to remind our listeners, or at least everybody that's tuned in. Maybe they don't know our community.
Mm-hmm.
That island is very
Sacred.
significant for us. I mean, it's a spiritual center.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, not only for Nett Lake, but for
Everybody.
Anishinaabe. Yep.
Even non-Indians,
Yep.
something could happen.
Mm-hmm. So we always want to be respectful, and that's one of the a great suggestion. And I'm pretty sure Squidge will have tobacco ready for them.
Yeah, he always does. He's kind of like one that's interested in the language. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell a dream. It's gonna be all in Anishinaabemoin. So I'm gonna tell it and just see what words you can pick out that I'm talking about. Meojan nagibo ajige away nagibo ajige ni mama. Binawa ni mishumis. Ugi 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 mochu eog sheba ugi ugi papa ege niskwandem ngi kut ngi keto bind again away bind again ni mama mino ni mishumis ngi keto namataben ambe man namataben ugi namatabi kuma Kabawin na nimishumis ugi keto away kita bizendawayok as kituan kito away ogita ki uma ogi meteuk kito ngi atibo ngi kito kawin ngi kito si ni mama mi atibo ogi na matabi kawin ngi mi atibo ogi tikwan ma ki away kawin ngi napsi away mi atibo nimishume ogi ki kito away ni mama ogi kito mi wewib kito majana wa ogi daki eya eya Nikki knee boy. I stood up. Nikki knee boy. Nikki macha kuching. Nikki macha kuching. Away. Ginu zi kyo ezi. Ogi knee boy. Kuching. Ogi kunwe. Ogi beach kunwe away. We had to go moccasins moccasins away Kibiskana. Meanwhile, maingan kitiguan. We had to go niki wabin down away. Skijik. We had to go niki wabin down. where we kito. Niki kito. Owe, nini, ngi, maji, nikawe, ugidaki. Owe, niki kito. O, mi go in, niki, the cushion and men no ma. Medewi la, medewi. Owe, niki, ni boe, koe. Niki Gawi, Niki Bindigesi. He had to go in Nabin Bindige and wake up Namata Bioguma. We had to go Koya Gogi Mata Bioguma. Niki Wabindan away Gamat. Dorothy, Madeline, and Gawi Nikanama away Niwi Yoko Koyak. We had to go away Namatabi Elma, Gawin Mashil, Ogi Nibosi. We had to go away Nini Gi away Anishinaabemoin Nini Hoki Niboi. Niki Bin Dige. Me Ishigon Niki Bin Dige Uma Mateo Igan. Niki Skuzi. I said what I said in my dream. I said, long time ago I had a dream. Meusha, Niki Boachike, of my uncle and my mom, my mother. Early in the morning, there was a knock on the door, and I was in my kitchen, and there was a knock on the door, and I said, "Bean again, come in." And that was my mom, JS. They come in, and I told them to sit down on a chair in my kitchen. So they sat down, and JS was the only one talking to me. My mom kind of had her head down like that, and she wouldn't say anything. And finally, then I just kept sitting there and where we kiddo, where we, that means hurry, where we. So then finally, I was just taking my time there, and my mom finally spoke up. Where we, Ma John, hurry and go. Where we, Ma John, kiddo. So then I went out my door, and I left them sitting in there in my kitchen. And I went out the door, and on the side of my porch there was a man standing. Ginuzi and Nini, tall man, Anishinaabe. He had on armbands, and he had moccasins on, and he had leg bands. Then he had kind of like a towel, like a little breechcloth, and he had a wolf's head on him, and I could only see his eyes. I couldn't see his face. And he walked behind me. He told me to hurry up. And he told me to hurry up, so I hurried up and I got up there. Ogidaki, that means up the hill, on the hill by the ball diamond. So I got up there on the hill, and I looked into that Midewigan, and I could see like Dorothy, Gamat, Madeline. I could see all of them sitting inside there. They were sitting on the ground, like how they put them lodges. You see her sitting on cedar balls all the way around there, and your pagichigan or your what you're supposed to have are hanging behind you on the medewi behind you, like whatever you have in your your shawl or your blanket you're supposed to wear. And I was thinking of going in there, and I should go. Oh, Elma Lumbar was the only one alive back then, and I seen her sitting in there, and everybody else was getting a book. They died already, and she was sitting there, and I was just gonna step out, and when I got up there, that guy was standing guarding the doorway up there, and it was the same. It was like there was two guys with wolf heads on. You only could see their eyes, and he was standing there. And I don't know where the other one went, but I was just gonna step in there, inside there, and then I woke up in the geek and I was sitting there, and then I told Lester my dream, and we didn't think nothing of it. Here there was a sign for me to go through the spirits wanted me to go through my, my lodge, the daily lodge. So I didn't pay attention. Finally, around in the middle of the winter, Lester got a call from Grand Portage, and that guy told him, he said, I had a dream. JS came to visit me. He said he came and he told me to tell you to hurry up and get started, get going. And he said, you better call Lester, you better call them and remind them to get this going. So he told me when I got home from work, he said he got a call. He said, I think, he said, or something's going to happen, he said, to your wife, or, you know. So then we really started getting, we went and had a ceremony with him, and he told us what to buy. We took, it was like in November, the snow on the ground in December. So we started, and they were going to do my ceremony in June or July, one of them, maybe June is. And then I started getting ready. I had to go buy like a bunch of things for a bundle, and they told me what all to buy and what kind of food I'm supposed to cook over the fire. So I did that, and it was time for me to go to go over there and finish in the shop. So I did. Stayed, I think, 3 nights out on the ground. Out, no, but we had Clint Miller bought his little camper thing, and that's where I stayed. Me and another lady went through together, so we both stayed in there, and but I know her too, so it was good to talk with her and stayed there all night. And early in the morning, we'd get up, we'd start again dancing. We could dance then, but now if I have to help my grandkids, my grandson and my son, I don't think I'll be able to dance. But when you go through that, you gotta tell in your Anishinaabe language why you want to go through. Why? So I know I did that for a lady. I interpreted to. She told me in English how she went through that, why. So I talked in Indian so the spirits could understand. And then I danced around there. We danced like all day. Justin was there. Then he was very active in the Medewi. He was the strawberries. He sat way by the door. So that's what must have come to see me, because that's where he was standing by the door. But that was my dream. I had to tell him what my mom and my uncle wanted me to. They were really after me to go to that. So I did, and it took me 4 years before I could do anything like to give an Indian name. When I start having dreams, my dreams start coming stronger and stronger, and I had to wait 4 dreams before I could do. And I kept dreaming of babies and little kids having to do with ceremonies, and that was my call to do Indian names. My youngest two grandsons, Calvin and Mason, Rissa's and Daylene's two little boys. I gotta give them a name. I got a name for one, but I didn't get no Sama from the other. I got Sama from one, and I got his name, but they're just being slow, and they should do it. He's only 12 months, no, he's 14 months, and they say you're supposed to give them names when they're early in age. You're not. It's harder. I know I gave names to somebody who was in their 20s, and it wasn't that hard either, because he must be he was meant to have a name, and then plus I never had this done before, but in my dream there was two ladies that came to me, and my ma and Arlene Morrison came to me in my dream, and that meant that that boy I gave that name had to have two names, and you can, and that's the first time that happened to me. And they showed me in my dream what he was going to get to watch for. Yeah, that's uh, spirits are watching, and they're seeing, and you gotta show them that you can talk your language, and then they'll come to you more. They'll be in your dreams more. There's a lot of things. I was gonna go through a couple names that are.
So what do they? Or yeah, what? How do you say a naming ceremony? What is that called? Is it Winda? Weenda?
Windaso.
Weenda?
Windaso, we call it.
Oh, okay. All right. And then just the regular or conducting a ceremony when somebody's doing that is money duke.
Yeah.
Okay, money duke. They're gonna do it, or he has spiritual power, and they are conducting a ceremony.
Yeah, but then you have to talk your language all the way through,
Mm-hmm.
because they can't understand. Do you ever go? Do you ever go to a G-Scon?
No, I've never been to a G-Scon.
I've been through a lot of them, and a lot of my kids have been through them. And just listening outside, you can hear noises like spirits. You can hear spirits in there, like, and they don't sound like in English. They sound. Oh, I wish you maybe. I always made sure some of my kids went and watched that, like Mark, Pete, Lester Jr., Carlene, Don, all, even the younger ones, Daylene, and I think I think most of my grandkids, except my great grandkids, except Leon and Anthony and Tyler, Kara, I don't think they ever seen anybody. But I wish you'd make it a thing to find out where they're doing that and go over there
Mm-hmm.
and watch. You can find out from Billy
Oh yeah.
where they're gonna do that,
Mm-hmm.
and you can, but you can't go in. You gotta sit on the outside. The only ones that are allowed in there are people that went through already. And Clarlene and Dawn came with me down when I did mine. I said no, they didn't. It was somebody else, but I went to dance for somebody and one of them, and they came with me. They took me and they had to sit out on the outside of the Medawi Lodge, so they couldn't go near. Just the ones that were Medawi could go in there and sit and and dance with dance with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can hear noises in there. You can hear like animals in there.
Yeah.
Bears. Pretty soon there ain't gonna be any more.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've heard quite a few people that have been through that, and they just like you're saying, that's what they've said it's about. So, or what happens.
Yeah, we had one in the back of our house one time where we parched rice. That's where some guy from Canada came and did did one, and that's where all my grandkids got to see one.
Mm-hmm. And I know in some of the interviews that we've done, or at least the audio that we've captured for some of our elders, even though maybe they weren't traditional, brought up in the traditional way,
Mm-hmm.
they were still interested,
Mm-hmm.
and they, at least a couple of them have said that they even though they weren't allowed to go to them,
Mm-hmm.
a G-Scon, that they went ahead and snuck
Mm-hmm.
around them, and they can verify exactly what the people that attended
Mm-hmm.
say,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. And so um, with those ceremonies, I mean, it's something that like you were saying, it's really something, a real good reason to learn your language.
Mm-hmm.
So when you can follow along on that, and plus also you'll be able to communicate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there's a lot of them spirits that come there, and it all depends on who's there, you know.
And that's why I tell Perry, when you say you do invocations for people, talk loud so they can hear what you're saying. You're not teaching them nothing when you're just low, like
Oh yeah.
Oju Manidu Niki
Hmm.
just slow.
You got to say it like talk
Bonjour.
like, yeah, like old. Who I used to remember doing that? It was old Walter
Caribou.
Caribou. Yeah, that old man. Oh man, he could talk.
Yeah.
He'd say it loud and um, fast.
Mm-hmm.
It always sound to me. It always sounded like he was doing an auction.
Yeah. That's one. Some people you can't hear, and how are you going to teach your people if you can't hear you know? And that's what I always stress out.
Hmm.
There's a lot of ways to say little prayers. I'm always saying, mi gwech manidu nagibi madazimin nungum. Thank you, spirits, for making me live today. Nagibi madis nungum, for living today. Nagimi niksamo. I'm giving you tobacco, mi gwech. Or nagimi nikwisinuin. I either give them tobacco or a little something. Wisiniwin magja sama. But a couple nights ago I had a dream I was buying vodka, great big bottle, and I had it in a brown bag, and it was sealed. It wasn't open,
Mm-hmm.
and I was coming home. But in my dreams, I'm always walking. I'm never riding. It's just walk, walk.
Uh,
Bimosen. And anyway, I, I told Brent that morning, I said, oh, I had a dream. I bought a big bottle of vodka. And I said, you know what? You know why I dreamt that? I said, that's the spirits reminding me to do a ceremony by Albert's Landing, Strong's Landing. I said, and every year Jessie would have me and Lester, because she was getting too old. She couldn't walk. But before she could, she'd walk down to the lake and she'd do a ceremony, and she'd buy like a little Mickey of vodka or whiskey or something, and she'd go pour that in the water
mm-hmm.
along with tobacco, and she'd talk. She'd talk to the lake. And I said, that's why I dreamt of that vodka. The spirits are reminding me to go put it in the water. So I told Brent if he goes to town today, pick me up a little bottle of whiskey or something. I can do that maybe Friday morning. Go put some in a lake and along with tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
I said, and I if people want to come down there with me, and I can show them what I do every spring. It's going to be summer pretty soon, and I got to do it right away. I got to go put some water, put that in. I was going to do some words here about towns, a few towns like Captogama. I got this from Jenny Woodenfrog because that's where they used to live. Gabeta Gamik, that's how you say Captogama. When I talked with Jenny, she said that's where they lived she was a little girl.
Kabe Togamig?
Yeah, Gabe Tagamik.
Oh, Kabe Togamig. Okay.
Yeah, Gabe Tagamik is Captogama. And then Ely is Nabashkikiwan, 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 that's Odana, that's Ely.
What does that interpret as?
That interpret as uh, what do you call that that
Nabashki.
Nabashkikiwan. That's what do you call that in a town where there's swamp town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what they called Ely, swamp town. Nabashkikiwan. Nabashkikiwan. And like I had them in syllables, but Nabashkikiwan. Then when you say it like Nabashkikiwan, Nagi Abi, Ely I live. Nabashkikiwan, Nagi Abi. And then there's like Hibbing, Pakweshki Wikamik. Pakweshki, that's a cattail
Uh-huh.
town. That's what they used to call Hibbing long time ago.
Mm.
Pakweshki Wikamik. And then there's all other kinds, like I said, when I said or, how do you say or? And Wasaya means sunny day. Wasaya gishagat, sunny day. Dingukut, cloudy. Nudin, windy. And Minnow gishagat, nice day. East wind. Wabanin, nudin. And Shawanin, nudin. West wind, south wind. Nigabi, nudin. Giwadin, nudin. Dongishamuk is when the sun goes down. Set as the sun goes down. Bogishku. They say these a lot in powwows. They say a lot of stuff at powwows when they talk.
Like when they're there and they're given well, it's not prayer, right? It's an invocation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wabanong, Jawanong, Nigabi, Inong, Giwe, Dinong. Andan and Muck is winds, 4 wind. Niwin, Andan and Muck is 4 winds. And, they use them in prayers. Like if you want to say all the Wabanong, Jawanong, Nigabi, Inong, Giwe, Dinong, you just say Niwin, Basic, Nish, Kiswe, Niwin, Andan and Muck. That means winds, Andan and Muck. Sagwanda go Niniuk. Sagwanda go Niniuk. In Dujim is my nephew. Toast, Ozawa Kizun.
Toast?
Yeah, Ozawa Kuzun. So you could see the color in there, kind of yellow. Ozawa Kizun. Ozawa is a color like Ozawa Bimete is butter. Ozawa Bimete. Ozawa Jishib, Ozawa Jishib. Yellow duck, yellow duck. No, Ozawa Weebadun, yellow teeth. No. Weebadun, that's what I say every morning. Kawe nigi biskan and Weebadun, them are your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you have a toothache, you say de wabade. De wabade.
What about brush your teeth?
Oh, I don't
Let me see here.
brush.
Oh, brush teeth. Giziya Badeo, or something like that. Or Giziya Badeo Dizo.
Yeah, that would be brush your teeth. Ogichida is a warrior. Ogima is the chief. Ogichida. Ogima. Oh, Pelican Lake is Ajagawi. Ajagawi is a pelican. Zaagi'igining. It seems like all these lakes and waters and stuff are named after animals.
Mm-hmm.
Or water animals like wood duck, Ziamu, Zibi, and then the islands are made of, are Minis, like Bogason, Manis is Plum Island, and then Nisha Oma means for nothing. Nisha Oma.
What about if you tell somebody to, well, I guess people brush their hair.
Mm-hmm.
How do you, like they're brushing their hair? Or is there a way to say that?
There is a way. How do you say one of these weather words? Binaquan pieces. That's a comb. I don't know. Comb is binaquan. So it would be like binakwe, we hair, is this
Okay.
binakwe look for comb or
Oh yeah, Benakwan. Comb hair is Benakwan.
we see
Benakwe.
binakwe wisis or
Yeah. There's a couple different ways to say it. Could you say Nazikwe? Nazikwe? Or I don't know what they mean by this little apostrophe thing.
binakwa,
Yeah, Benakwa. Benakwe. Oh wait, here it is. I'll play it. See what they mean. There.
Pinakwe.
Benakwe. Oh, okay. So it must be like a quick
mm-hmm.
Benakwe.
Like just like that month is binakwe, that's like a raking leaves mowing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can see. How do you say is it October? No. When is binakwe?
It's probably September, I bet. Let me see here.
No, I don't think it's
No?
September. It's probably maybe October.
And that's one of the things. Yeah, Benakwe gives.
Yeah.
Yep.
Combing leaves mowing.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's binakwan in there, like only that they say combing leaves mowing or
And then
raking.
September is Watebaga.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like I said, this sunny day, Wasaya, Wate,
Yep.
But there's a lot.
Sagate,
Yeah, Sagate, it could be that.
like sunny.
Mm-hmm. Like there's there's the words or meanings like they always have another word behind it or in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like binakwan is. I remember Nancy Boney, Julie's mom. She'd make all her daughters go comb their hair outside
Mm.
in the summertime.
Uh-huh.
But
Did they have I suppose like, well, every time I was down in Arizona on the Navajo res, every time we'd come from somewhere, my grandmother would always wash her hair, but she would use
seed.
no, yucca root, which was they rub it together in the water and it kind of comes up kind of soapy.
Mm-hmm.
So they would use that, but it also had a cleansing, like a spiritual use too. So that's what she would say. This will wash all the what you picked up from spiritually from the, I guess, white,
Yeah.
from living in the white world,
Mm-hmm.
And so she was kind of preparing us to be back on the res,
Mm-hmm.
So, was there a similar, or is there a similar observation about respecting? Well, I'm sure everybody respects themselves, and that's taught. But as far as their hair and keeping it, because down there they'd always tell us, be very careful about your hair. Anytime that we would have loose hair, like in our brushes and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
we'd have to burn it, because the thing that would be bad, or what I've been told, is that it could be used by medicine people down
Yeah.
there. It could be
Mhm.
used by medicine people.
Same here.
Oh, okay.
That's the same way
Okay.
it was here.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to, if we had a comb or something, we have to roll it up in our,
Yeah.
make it like a ball of hair,
Mhm.
then we'd have to
Burn it.
I think my grandma would burn hair,
Mm.
but and then how they cleanse the hair is cedar water.
Oh,
Wash
okay.
their hair with cedar,
Uh-huh.
and that's the same way. My two granddaughters were, my two daughter-in-laws were Catholic,
Mm-hmm.
and they wanted to change into what their husbands were. So this guy, medicine man from Canada, came, and we did a 4-day ceremony for them.
Yeah.
And for 4 days they had to bathe in cedar,
Oh,
even
okay.
wash their heads.
Yeah.
Especially the top where that holy water
Mm-hmm.
went or something.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, I've heard about that. I know there's a few people that have, I think Inky told me about that too, that there were people that asked him that, like how do they, um, I don't want to say, um, well, to come
change.
back, yeah, to change back to traditional um, spirituality.
Yeah, Muggs did that. She went to church way, then she changed back later
Mm-hmm.
on in life.
So there is a way to do that then.
Yeah.
Well, that's good information.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean nothing against you know their religion or whatever it is. I mean it's I guess as Miss Obama would say, it is what it is. Um, it's kind of strange that we would be attracted to something that, at least in my opinion, demonized us. Made us feel
Yeah.
bad and
Yeah, it's up to the person,
yeah,
It's
yeah,
up
and
to them.
I'm respectful about that.
Yeah.
Um, I know there's tons of choices that are out there. It was strange. I met an agnostic. Well, I don't know if I'm using the right word. Agnostic. I mean, there's one where you don't believe in a higher power, and then there's another one where you just are. I can't remember what that word is, but I met a Navajo guy who was like that, and I said, "How do you like? Why do you feel that way?" And he said, "Well, I feel trapped. I feel trapped, like I'm here." I'm like, "Yeah, we're all trapped. What's you know? Ginabu, right? You're set free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, or they're set free. But that was the thing that I thought was really strange with him was, oh, we're running out of time here. Anyway, we'll pick that up. I'll let you know what that story was.
I was going to say another thing, but I'll wait till
Okay.
that's about Nebu, where
Uh-huh.
where you, where you change when you gain Nebuing.
Okay.
But
All right. Well, you guys all have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Gigawapamin.
All right.
Come tomorrow for that language.
Yep.
Please come.
Yep. Come on
We
down.
know you're interested in it. You don't have to be interested in ceremonies, just your